Day 3, purpose driven. How you doing on your goals? Are you setting them down? Are you setting down your 3 goals each day and you're saying, okay, I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to be nice to all my friends. I'm going to be positive with everything I do, and I'm going to do all my homework. Or maybe you say, first period, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done first period. Third period, I'm going to learn fractions. I'm going to get my fractions. Fourth period, I'm going to learn about George Washington or whatever it might be. But you sit down every day, and what happens? You start being a purpose-driven individual. You develop the quality of being purpose-driven. The story today is going to teach you or show you the importance of the quality of visualization in accomplishing being purpose-driven. You've got to actually see yourself reaching the goal before you do it. Glenn Clark said the most godlike, being like God, quality that we have is our imagination. You see, God created us in one certain way. If you don't like the way you've been created, if you don't like who you are, where you are, and what you are, you can change who you are, where you are, and what you are by imagining what you want to be, where you want to be, who you want to be. Walter Payton said the greatest thing about his childhood, Walter Payton was one of the greatest running backs that ever played professional football. And he said the thing he owed it all to was he didn't have a TV. So when he was a kid, he had to imagine everything. He didn't have a video game where he could shoot people and do all the things. He had to see, he had to imagine all these things. And later in life, he imagined himself being this great running back. Well, what happens is your body can't tell the difference between a real experience and one vividly imagined. So the subconscious mind starts working on making you what you see yourself, your vision. What did Helen Keller say? The worst than being blind is having no vision. If you've got this vision of who you are, where you want to be, what you want to do, you want to be a lawyer? You're going to have to see yourself being a lawyer long before you pass the bar exam. You want to be a doctor? You're going to have to see yourself being a doctor long before. You want to play a professional sports? You got to see yourself doing that. Now listen to this story. This is a story about visualization, actually. In 1952, Florence Chadwick attempted to swim the 26 miles between Catalina Island and the California coastline. As she began, she was flanked by small boats that watched for sharks and were prepared to help her if she got hurt or grew tired. After about 15 hours, a thick fog set in. Florence began to doubt her ability, and she told her mother, who was in one of the boats, that she didn't think she could make it. She swam for another hour before being asked to be pulled out, unable to see the coastline due to the fog. As she sat in the boat, she found out she had stopped swimming just 1 mile away from her destination. 2 months later, Chadwick tried again. The time was different. The same thick fog set in, but she made it because she said that she kept a mental image of the shoreline in her mind while she swam. She saw the shoreline in her mind. When the fog was there, she couldn't see it, but she put it in her mind what that shoreline was and what it was going to look like when she got there. You see, when you put that goal in your mind, you see yourself making the bed in the morning. How silly is that, Coach? No, you see yourself making the bed. You want to talk to Margaret Ann and talk to her about something and be socially more acceptable, see yourself doing it. How many times do you think the people that are speakers speak in front of a mirror? They see themselves doing it 1,000 times before they actually do it. They asked Joe Namath one time if that was when he won the Super Bowl in 1969, the greatest upset in Super Bowl history. And they said, was this the greatest game you ever played? He said, no. He said, I played this game last night. I took every play that we were going to run, and I saw the Baltimore Colts line up, and I saw the defense lined up, and I saw the receiver run the routes, and I saw me drop back, and I saw me throw a perfect pass. So when he got out there the next day, what was it for him to do it? Nothing. He had visualized it in his mind. Put it in your mind. Write your goals down. Write down each one of them. Look at the stories today. Because this is really important. And the most important thing is for you to write the answers. Because if you write the answers, it makes you realize more of where you are, who you are, and what you are. Becoming purpose-driven. What's your fog? See, there's a fog that keeps us from getting to the coastline. There's a fog that keeps us from getting to the dream, to the vision. What's yours? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, what most people's fog is other people. You're too short. Your family has never been to college. You're too tall. You're too skinny. This school has never won. There's too many negative people out there that can't wait to tell you what you cannot do. That's a lot of people's fog. You got to wipe that fog out. Your vision has to be strong enough. Your goal has to be strong enough in your mind that you just go through the fog. How do you get through your fog? How is it that you get through it? You just work. You don't allow people to control you. Don't let the negative people, what they say is irrelevant. They can't keep you from doing anything. I tell you, the one thing that drove me more than anything else is when somebody told me I couldn't do something. That was the greatest motivating factor in the world for me. Because you could guarantee that I would put more energy into doing what they told me I couldn't do than if they would have told me I could do it. You got to have a helper, though. How do you get through the fog? I told you a while ago, or yesterday, that our players put 3 goals on a Post-it note on their locker. What I didn't tell you was the coach came by and picked him up before he made his practice schedule. And he looked at him and he said, here's the 3 things that these guys want to get done today. So my drills and the things that I'm going to do are going to help them get to where we're going to get through the fog. This is their coastline, and I'm going to help them get through that fog. You got to have somebody. You got to have a coach. You got to have a teacher. You got to have a friend. You got to have a parent. You got to have somebody help you get through that fog. Why is it important for you to see your goal? If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? Or if you get there, how are you going to know you got there? See, if the road goes nowhere, you can take any road you want. It doesn't matter. But if you know exactly, now there may be some detours. When you get on a plane and you're going to San Antonio and there's big bad weather ahead and they've got to make a detour, they make a detour, but they don't stop and come back. If they get to a roadblock, they may have to go around it and take a detour, but they're still going to get there. As long as you keep that goal in your mind and you say, okay, that's a detour. Had a little obstacle, had a little detour there, but that's not the end of the road. I haven't gotten there, but I'm going to get there. Just like Edmund Hillary said, Everest, you can't grow. I can. I'm going to get to the top. Hey, be the best you can be. And you know how you can be the best you can be today? You make today a great day.